these glasses.
I guess you didn't send any notifications on, I guess.
No, probably not
No,
yet.
no.
I bet you that
Oh,
dude
okay.
that I bet you that hacker dude that was in earlier, he wasn't even on my main channel, but I bet you that guy could have sent out notifications, bro.
Play Peter Guitar
Oh
Jam.
yeah, probably.
God,
Probably.
I should have asked. I was like, dude, can you send out notifications from my channel to tell people I'm live, like to everybody, to all 25,000 subscribers? I should have asked him that. Oh, dude, I don't know if because I told him he's like he made me an offer. He's like, if you delete that video, I won't do business with you unless you delete the video. I go, I don't want to delete the video. He goes, well, if you don't delete the video, he's like, I'll delete your channel. And I'm like,
What?
I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'll just. He's like, just the video on this one channel that I'm on right now. And I'm like, okay, I will do that. I'll delete that video.
Yeah.
And it'll still. I told him I was like, it's still live on my Rumble. It's still live on all my other channels and shit. He's like, it's cool. He's like, just this one channel. I was like, all right, I'll delete when the videos are. He's like, I was like, you want? I was like, I'll end the video right now. I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna stop this right because dude's like ultra powerful. You know, he already
Yeah, I
showed
would
me.
imagine.
He already showed me what the fuck he could do. And I was like, I'm gonna. He's like, no, bro. He's like, you keep going, man. He's like, but when you're done, I'd appreciate it if you delete that shit. And I'm like, I'll handle it. And bless you. She sneezes 9 times in a row.
Damn.
I know.
Plus,
When I sneeze, it's usually 2 or 3. Whoa, here we
when I was a
go,
kid,
dude. Oh, go ahead, go
I
ahead.
had when I was a kid, my sneezes was really weird because I had some really long drawn sneezes, like achoo. I couldn't fucking. It was really weird, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it stopped when I got older, but my whole fucking as a child, that was the only way I fucking could sneeze. It was really weird.
Huh. So, okay, cool. We're good over there on Rumble. We got 38 viewers on Rumble. Um, bro, 8 people on YouTube's and 38 people on Rumble, and then Kick's got 2 viewers. So 48 viewers, 47 viewers, no, 47 viewers. But the Rumble might be real or it might be fake. I mean, we're pretty much, hey, Seymour Cannabis. Okay, I made it here finally. Wonderful, man. Please follow my channel and give me a thumbs up over there, Randy. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for getting over here. Excellent, bro. Let's get me to 903 followers. Click that follow button, Randy. You're probably already following me, aren't you? All right. Well, somebody else. Follow along, man. Let's get that up to 910. It's not looking very... It's bottom of the hour. Bottom of the hour. Bottom of the hour. Bottom of the hour. Hey, I insulated my dashboard today with some carpeting. I've been working on a little project on the side. I'm gonna show you. I've been waiting all night for this. Give you guys a little something special. I'm gonna upload this video to the YouTubulas so we can watch it together. This is how we're gonna do it. Okay. And dashboard heat. Okay, we're going. It's not made for kids. Upload. Publish, bitch. Bitch. We're gonna publish. See video. Oh, and there goes 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%. About 3 minutes remaining. Cyber, cheers to you.
Cheers.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, baby. Watch it fill up. It's going to be like magical. Cheers,
Justin
Airfat.
Jefferson. Dang
Justin!
Rumble app ain't working for me.
Justin, Paul. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, bro. Cheers, everybody.
Justin Jefferson. Paul is on too.
No, Paul. I don't think Paul's here right now.
Arafat Nakba. Cheers, yeah, they're officially silent now, rumbling, ha ha ha.
We were having fun earlier, though. He was trolling me hard. It was so fun. He was like, talk about this. Now talk about this. He's like, yeah, that's good. Talk more about that.
Justin
I'm
Jefferson.
like, why are you controlling
Paul
me?
wrote you back on Facebook.
Why are you controlling me like a puppet master? He told me on here, bro. He's like, come do it on Tuesday, 10:30. I'm like, hell yeah. Are those AM or PMs? I'm fine with either. I'm down for whatever, son. Does he do night shows? I'm assuming with that heavy music, it's got to be a night show. But then again, 10:30 AM would make more sense, wouldn't it? No. He's doing a night show. I'm going to say night, right? I can't tell.
Justin Jefferson.
Night.
Night, yeah.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson. Yad HT. Justin Jefferson. Damn phone.
Dude, Justin, were you on earlier today when that troll came in with the when was able to boost my numbers up to 200 viewers on my YouTube channel? Did you see that? I'd like to see my first response to that. Because I turned off, I saw it come in, so I immediately turned off my chat before my audience could hear it. And nobody else was on that channel, really. It was an old channel of mine. He wasn't even on the main channel. It's up on my Rumble.
Yeah, I was on Rumble.
Oh, you saw that shit? Well, that shit was crazy, wasn't it? Oh my God, I was telling Cyber about that. How many people do you have all together at a time usually? Watching my show? Well, I don't believe the Rumble numbers. Really, I don't. So, right now it says 29 over there, and I'm thinking it's more like 6 or 5. Like 5 people watching on Rumble, 7 people watching across my other channels, 2 people watching on Kick last I checked. Yep, 2. So it's, I'm guessing now it's 9 on the YouTubes. All right, so 9 plus, I'm going to say 6. I'm guessing
Justin
there's
Jefferson.
really only 6 people watching on Rumble.
I was trying to find out if the Chinese girl was real or fake.
Oh. Yeah, I thought that was a dude. I thought that was a guy, man. I didn't think that was a girl. I think he was hanging out with a couple of girls, I think he said. Or a girl and a guy. I just assumed it was a dude. I don't know. The dude from China that was in the Philippines? Cyber could have had a great conversation with that dude. I wonder if he followed me. What was his name? I can't remember. They are watching you if they're sending the bots.
Justin Jefferson. If you type in that account on Rumble, it shows nothing. But yes, it was a female LMFAOLIA.
It was a female. How do you know it was a female?
Arafat Nakba. Smile, you're on candid camera, cheers.
Dudes always use female names, bro. Don't you think that was a dude?
Justin Jefferson. Picture and name.
That doesn't mean shit, bro. We're talking Facebook here? On a new account? That was probably a dude, bro. I assumed it was a dude. I just figured it was some anime picture and some anime name or something.
A lot of guys that will use anime picture of a girl.
This guy was from China, in the Philippines. I was like, I don't know, dude. That's just what I thought. Buck Fiden 1234 is laughing at me. You'll be laughing at me when you see a bear walk across my backyard.
Justin Jefferson. Leah Chang. She sent me her friend's Rumble where her and her friend were dancing in the video.
Lee Chang. Yeah, I figured that was a dude. Lee. Like Bruce Lee. Lee Chang that knows fucking Taekwondo or whatever the fuck. He said he knew Kung Fu or something. I figured that wasn't a woman, you know. So you got a video.
Justin Jefferson. LMFAO.
You got a video of 3 girls dancing.
You got your bank account now. When you click that link, you got all your info.
Dude.
Just click this link and see me and my girlfriends dance and shake our boobs. And you click the link. He got the info.
They said to me, "I want to be your friend on social media. Fucking be my." It's like, be my friend right here in this goddamn live stream. You know.
So we need to click it. You need to click this link here.
Yeah. I'm on here every day. Fucking come hang out with us.
You don't come and hang out every day. You just need to click this link one time. And we'd be best friends forever.
I'm in that Celsius bullshit, the fiasco. And I got an email, and it was from a company that supposedly is doing the distributions for Celsius, and it was a phishing email. It was totally fake. But this one, they did really good. You know, usually there's grammatical errors and there's all kinds of shit. Dude, they really stepped up their game. And I'm pretty sure I deleted the email. I could probably still fetch it from the server, but it's crazy what it said, bro. It was like, we're giving you the distribution. You got 30 days to get your crypto back from Celsius, and now it's time to get it. Follow this link, blah blah blah. And dude, there was all this information where I kind of read through it, and I was like, holy shit, dude. They're really pressing. And it's funny is that people that pay attention, like that bald guy I watch every once in a while talks about Celsius, or that girl Tiffany Fong, we've seen Tiffany Fong, bro. Yeah. So I watch her and shit. So they keep me informed on what's going on with Celsius. And one of the things they talk about is there's a lot of scammers out there. You're going to be seeing, you're just complete bullshit scams. You'll be seeing this one or that one or whatever, blah blah blah. It didn't take them long, and you want to hear the fucking funny part?
Mm-hmm.
They sent it to the wrong email, bro. It's not the email I use for fucking Celsius. Duh. I was like, they totally don't have access to my information from within Celsius, but I'm listed as one of the people in the bankruptcy, so my information, my name is public information on the Celsius page. They got a hold of
Yeah.
They got a hold of that, and they did a search for my email address, and they just sent it to the wrong email address. Oh my god. Ugh, fucking idiots. I told you guys get multiple email addresses and mix that shit up. Dude, I'm expecting a visitor of the bear kind. That yard is primed and perfect for some bear destruction. I'm going to come out tomorrow and all my plants are just going to be destroyed. The orange trees are doing good. They're this big and they're starting to show real growth. Like they're starting to root and really pump out leaf now. So I'm really excited. You guys, I told you 26,250, right? It's going to happen. I just like to raise my arms and stretch sometimes while I'm talking. So, yeah, so what's he saying about climate here? We're still listening to this.
Glaciers are only a million or so
I'll
years
play
old.
some guitar on my
to
acoustic.
get a good idea of the trends that govern global temperatures, we're going to have to go back much earlier than that. How do we know what the global temperature was over a million years ago? The answer might surprise you. Clams. Actually, not clams.
Oh, this has a
but
broken
something
string,
similar.
son of a bitch.
A tiny single cellular organism, no larger than a
That's
full
two
stalk,
guitars with
called
broken strings.
foraminifera. Like clams, these organisms produce shells around themselves, and these shells are slightly porous. Oxygen in particular is taken into the shell and trapped there, remaining in place even when the foraminifera dies. So, using a similar process to the ice cores, if scientists can find shells of dead foraminifera from a particular year, they can release that air and work out from it the global temperature. This process is slightly different, as instead of air composition, scientists are looking at different oxygen isotopes, but basically it's a very similar process. Foraminifera are still around today, and first came onto the scene 500 million years ago, so they are instrumental in helping us get a clear picture of global temperatures during this much longer time period. But what is that picture? Based on data collected from foraminifera, it looks something like this. There is a certain degree of uncertainty to this. Findings get more reliable the closer we get to the present day. But as you can see from general trends, the Earth's temperature has undergone significant changes over the last 500 million years. At times it has faced temperature averages 14 degrees Celsius hotter than we have today, and at other times about -5 degrees Celsius lower. So we are not the hottest we have ever been. Then again, that's not surprising to anyone who knew that the surface of the Earth when it was just formed was mostly magma. But you may not have expected these fluctuations. Why are they happening? Scientists are not entirely sure, as there doesn't seem to be much of a pattern to them on this grand scale. But they believe that some of these fluctuations are from the emergence of new life forms. For instance, the arrival of plants at around 450 million years before the present might explain why the temperature dropped then. They started absorbing atmospheric CO2 and turned it into oxygen, which retains less heat. Other changes could have been caused by plate tectonics and volcanic activity putting more CO2 into the air, and still other changes could have been caused by possible meteor impacts, like the one that wiped out the dinosaurs. However, this is not the full picture. By increasing the resolution and zooming in slightly, we begin to see another interesting trend. Let's look at the 65 million year picture. Within the large sweeping changes, it turns out that there are many smaller fluctuations. These become more obvious when we zoom in again. and again, and again. By this point, we can see a distinct, smaller pattern occurring. Rapid rises in global temperatures, followed by gradual dips. It's hard to get your head around the sheer scope of the Earth's history, but each one of these dips represents entire ice ages. Ice ages are technically defined as any point in Earth's history where there is ice on the polar caps, something that is not always the case. So technically, as I've mentioned in a previous video, we are in an ice age right now. However, although the general trend of the Earth's temperature at the moment is towards ice ages, we are in something known as an interglacial period, a span of many thousands of years where the Earth is temporarily warmer in between full ice ages. In the last full ice age, the polar caps reached the UK and parts of the US. But what is causing these dips and rises on our graph? Well, I go into more detail about this in my video on Milankovitch cycles, which you can watch here, but just to brush up on them very quickly, Milankovitch cycles are the periodic changes that take place within our planet's climate due to fluctuations in its orbital movement around the Sun, usually over the course of thousands of years. Surface ice affects the temperature of a planet. The more surface ice a planet has, the colder the planet tends to be, as more heat is reflected back into space. But equally important is the direction that surface ice is facing. Consider ice to be like a shield that will reflect the sun's rays. If that ice is not pointed in the direction of the sunlight, it cannot reflect it. So anytime the planet points its surface ice towards the sun, the Earth tends to get cooler, creating something of a feedback loop. This matters because the Earth's axis isn't stable. Over the span of thousands of years, it moves back and forth, sometimes pointing the polar ice caps more towards the sun, and sometimes pulling them further away. Although this change is only a couple of degrees at most, it is enough that over time it has an impact on the global temperature. The temperature drops as the ice shield faces the sun, and rises again as it points away. This fluctuation is one
lawsuit. I don't know what that is, but fine.
There are other Milankovitch cycles, which are consistent cycles in the Earth's orbit that affect its temperature, acting on timescales of 23,000, 41,000, 100,000, 405,000, and 2.4 million years. Whenever these coincide with each other, they create even greater changes to the global temperature. You can see the gaps between the ice ages in this graph tend to be about 100,000 years apart, perfectly in line with one of the Milankovitch cycles, specifically the change in the Earth's orbital eccentricity. But all of the cycles have an impact. So where are we in relation to one of these Milankovitch cycles? Let's zoom in some more. As you can see, we have risen out of an ice age and have entered a fairly stable plateau of global temperature. This is consistent with the rapid rise in temperature / slow drop in temperature that characterizes ice ages and the periods between them. All of human history, from the pyramids to the present day, can be found on this plateau.
You guys, this scale only goes up to 1950. Just so you know.
Although humans existed before this point,
if you look right at the end, you can see it really starting to go up.
Right.
Scientists have named this plateau
Look at what it says at the
where
bottom.
human history began, the Holocene period.
I cannot see, it's too blurry.
It says
However,
age years before
uptick right at the
1950
end
CE.
is not so usual.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
This
it was my
uptick
end. I had.
represents a rise
Once again,
in the global
YouTube had you
temperature
in
by 1
144p.
degree, which technically is still roughly on par with the interglacial period before our current one over 100,000 years ago. However, it is not the temperature change that is concerning about this uptick. It is how quickly it is rising. Unlike all the other changes on all these graphs, which have taken place over hundreds of millions of years at the longest and thousands of years at the shortest, this rise took place in 100 years. This could have a big impact on the ecosystems
See
of
if
the
that
planet.
fixes the quality.
So, what could have
No,
caused
it was
this
it was
bad
bad my end,
The
bro.
answer cannot
When
be
you
Milankovitch
dropped the
cycles.
stream,
As you have
it
seen,
went to
these
the
cycles
lowest
take place
resolution
on a
possible
scale
on my
of
end.
thousands of
it
years
should be
at least,
super clear now.
and millions at most.
It is.
Even when
I
we
went
zoom
back to
in on sections of our
140,
graph where there
40,
appear to be sharp
1440p.
upticks, we realize that these rises take place over a couple of 1,000-year periods. Milankovitch cycles are described as weak but consistent forces, like the trickle of a stream that eventually erodes a mountain. They do not create effects over such a small time frame as 100 years. Similarly, there has been no cataclysmic event such as the
Wow,
one that
look at
wiped out
that.
the dinosaurs, which might be our other explanation. That meteor was thought to be 10 kilometers wide and struck with a force of 21 to 921 billion Hiroshima A-bombs.
Jeez Louise.
About 75% of species died in the climate change that happened in its aftermath. If something like that had hit Earth since 1850, we would have noticed it. However, there is one factor that does explain this change in global temperatures: the activity of humans.
Wow.
It is not the first time that living organisms have had an impact on the global temperature. Remember, it is believed that some of the changes we see here are caused by the introduction of plant life absorbing CO2 and releasing oxygen. Similarly, back when life was still all single-celled organisms about 2.4 billion years ago, the arrival for the first time of cyanobacteria that could photosynthesize had a massive impact on the atmosphere. For the first time, an organism started putting oxygen into the atmosphere. This occurred at such a rate there was an event known as the Great Oxidation Event, which coincided with a significant drop in the global temperature. Some scientists believe the entire world almost froze entirely over, as there is evidence of glacial activity at the equator, a snowball Earth as it came to be known.
At the equator.
What
That's
we
fucking
learn
crazy.
from this is that the balance of global temperatures is very delicate. A single species that starts to change the atmospheric ratio of gases can have a massive impact, overloading the subtler effects of Milankovitch cycles. And since 1850, humans have definitely changed the way we have been interacting with the atmosphere. Unlike the previous roughly 10,000 years of human history, since 1760 and the Industrial Revolution, human activity has produced vast amounts of greenhouse gases as a waste product of industrialization and farming. In the last 4 decades, each decade has been the hottest decade on record since we started tracking global temperatures in 1850.
Okay. That is so important that you guys hear what he said. It's the exact same words that Thunderfoot uses. All right, so this is 1457. We're going to go 1447. Listen to this.
And farming. In the last 4 decades, each decade has been the hottest decade on record since we started tracking global temperatures in 1850. CO2 levels are now at a global average of 410 parts per million, and methane at 1,866 parts per billion, which is higher than we have seen in the last 800,000 years, which means since before about 8 ice ages and interglacial periods between them. And importantly, the global cover of surface ice has been retreating consistently since 1950, something scientists do not believe to have happened for the last 2,000 years. As you will recall, this has a knock-on effect on Milankovitch cycles, as a planet with less surface ice does not reflect as much heat from the sun, so tends to get even hotter. Like pushing a cart down a hill, these changes have a certain amount of momentum to them. And sadly, rapid changes in global temperature tends to lead to species going extinct. It normally takes thousands of years for life to adapt to the conditions you might find during an ice age, woolly mammoths, to conditions today, elephants. Natural selection takes time to develop in a species the traits they need to thrive in a new environment. If species are not given this time, they either have to move to a new environment better suited to them, or they will die out. as the habitable zones begin to migrate towards the poles, some zones will vanish completely, while new, hot desert environments will be created that life in general is poorly adapted to. It's important to note that these events are not unstoppable. Global temperature change does have some momentum, but if we as humans find ways to stop changing the atmosphere's ratio, then in time, Milankovitch cycles will take over again and the rise will stop. That's why it's so important for governments to listen to reports by institutions like the IPCC.
How hot does this guy think it's going to get? And at what point does he think that humans can control the heating up of this planet right now, I wonder?
An international group of scientists funded by multiple governments tasked with finding out the realities of climate change, who in 2021 released their 6th assessment report explaining the physical science basis. In it, they stated that it is unequivocal that human influence has warmed the atmosphere, ocean, and land. However, they also offered suggestions, namely the importance of halting or rapidly reducing CO2 emissions towards net zero,
right?
As CO2 is the largest contributor towards climate change, followed by
but
methane.
We're not doing it.
They also recommended the development of carbon dioxide removal facilities to be established worldwide.
No.
Some of these are...
No, because Thunderfoot proved that those things don't do anything.
Already in operation, such as Project Longship in Norway. Their aim is to take CO2 out of the atmosphere and bury it beneath the ground in depleted fossil fuel.
According to Thunderfoot, that'll bury it for about a year.
Reservoirs. The IPCC says that actions like this, if widespread enough, will reduce global surface temperature.
The things we watch Thunderfoot, huh?
Certain other processes like acidification of the oceans.
Right.
Personally, I'm not super convinced by current carbon capture projects, but they do exist. But these efforts need to be done on a large-scale government level. Ultimately, my aim for this video was to examine what global warming meant within the context of Earth's wider history. From it, we can see that it's not actually accurate to say that we are the hottest we've ever been. And I find that a really fascinating insight. However, that fact alone is not the reason some people think it is to not worry about the problem. Climate change is a process that usually takes millennia. I've realized the worrying part is not necessarily the change itself, but rather the speed at which it is happening. Some life forms might get left behind. And how will humanity cope? We don't know, as we haven't been around long enough to deal with the extremes of the past. While human activity has sped up certain elements, and while we can undo some of what has been done through our actions now, some things, like higher sea levels, will be with us for up to 1,000 years. According to the latest IPCC report, we are past the point of no return for 1.5 degrees Celsius, and will need to make rapid, fundamental changes to our society this decade to stop it going any further than that. This will be hard. There's no way we as a species will be able to achieve this hard path unless we can agree on the facts that underpin it, though. Without the broader context of agreed upon data, it will forever be perfectly possible to arrive at a wide range of conclusions and different paths we should take. That is why, when it comes to any discussion, context is so important. By looking at the pattern of our planet's history, we see that the current uptick in global temperatures is an induced event that doesn't match already existing patterns, and it perfectly coincides with human activity. Debate what you want to do with that information and the best path to take in light of it, but these are the facts, set in ice and the bones of organisms long dead. They will brook no argument. Dealing with all the crises that the world seems to throw at you daily can get a little overwhelming. Sometimes it's important to take care of yourself.
That's why you should tune in to Nay's Garden every night, every day, and every afternoon and get right with your brain. With Trendy Nay and Cyber Reload, we're here to help. 26,250. Right there, folks. 26,250.
Arafat Nakba.
It's
Yes, yes, cheers.
how many ones can I get in all of my chats right now? How many ones can I get? Give me a one, everybody. How many ones can I get? Give me total ones. I don't know how long that first video went for before it got shut down. Or I got disconnected. It was because I was trying to do too much on my screen.
Play Peter Guitar Jam. 1.
I'm just going to delete stuff. Cyber gave me a 1. How many more ones can I get, folks? According to this, there's
Butcher. 1.
39, 41 people watching, Cyber. If I go by the numbers.
Right.
Tula Tetro. 1.
Hey, Tula.
Arafat Nakba. 1.
Hey, Tula.
3 ones. 2 ones. Hey, GSP girl. Token Tony Z. Only 2 ones on the Rumble. Out of 26 supposed viewers. Hey, I got a follower, man, on Rumble. Thank you, guys. Whoever followed me on Rumble, thank you so much for that. Whoa, Moonscape is down 82.8% over the last 24 hours. Something fucking just got rug pulled. Negative 82%, dude. MSCP. We should probably look at that on the chart. MSCP. Here we go. We'll pull it up. MSCP. MSCP. Moonscape. There it is. Uh, 7 day. That's the 1 day. Holy shit. Dude, show me that 7 day. Oh, show me the 1 month. Fucking what? 1 year. That is fucking pump and dump. All time. Yeah, it started out as a pump and dump. They pumped and dumped. They got it all the way up to fucking 2 pennies, dude. Oh, they pumped that motherfucker. Look at what you did. What did you do? You got it all the way up to almost, you got up to almost 3 cents, these fuckers. And now it's at 0.00024. I wonder how many people lost their shit on that one. Holy moly. Hey, we're looking at the dashboard here. Looking at this. The dashboard. Please try again later. Whatever. Psst. Unreal. The dashboard. Wow. Here we go. What did I tell you? 26,250? Goddamn right I did, folks. You're going to remember that number. That's where we're going. 26,250. I need to put strings on my guitar. That'd be nifty. I only got This is how many ones I got. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 ones, folks. 7. GSP Girl Token Tony Z Seymour Cannabis Lay Peter Guitar Jam Butcher Tula Tetro and Arafat Nakba. Those were the ones. And nothing on the cake. I got a Bitcoin. It's almost $8,000 in profit. That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
You. As long as I don't pull it out, I don't have to pay taxes on it. Leave it locked in that tax-free fucking zone, baby. Whoa, what the fuck just... Dude, did Ethereum just blow up? Oh my god, Mom!
What?
That lady talks just like Christina.
What, honey?
That lady talks just like Christina. And it's and paprika and some hamburger and some bread and
She's an Asian girl. She's
some butter.
cooking.
The intonation.
I don't know where Harley has been, but he's not in here.
She's a bad putty cat.
I don't know why you let him out again.
So get out of my hair.
Yeah, well, if he doesn't come back, I'm going to bed as soon as Marie gets here. If he's not here, I'm not waking up. I'll tell you that right now.
I'm gonna go make some food and watch a movie or something.
Bon appetit, brother. Take care.
Right back at you, bro. I'll see you later.
All right.
Hey, and goodbye, everyone. Have a good one.
Sounds like a good idea. I don't know what I'm gonna eat though. There's nothing here. Oh no, I got fucking stuff. I had so much goddamn chicken. Chicken. Even though this chicken's a little healthier, it's still chicken. Chicken all the time. It is nothing.
Arafat Nakba. Feel better, Cyber.
It is nothing but the chicken. It is nothing but the chicken. Chicken.
Tula Tetro.
Potato.
By Cyber.
Chicken and a potato with the butter. $26,250. My prediction will come to fruition. Just watch for my next edition. Ha ha! Dude, I wonder what this channel videos. How far does it go back? Oldest. 2 years ago. That doesn't seem right. That's not the channel I thought it was. Oh. That's why, man. This is the wrong. Okay, that's. It says 2 years ago. So I started using this channel for broadcasting 2 years ago. I see. Got it, bro. I got it, dude. If I could log into that old channel, that'd be cool. Burning Man attendees unable to leave desert. Alligator bites child at New Orleans area beach. Why Vivek Ramaswamy's swipe at Nikki Haley was so off base. 5 deaths in Virginia from meningococcal disease outbreak. This is a sign the Pentagon is taking UFOs seriously. "19-year-old from Texas went overboard from a Royal Caribbean cruise. Search is underway."
Arafat Nakba. Absinthe.
Fucking India fucking crashed their goddamn thing on the moon. Oh, Russia's. So Russia crashed a fucking orbiter lander on the moon, like that game, Lunar Lander. You guys ever played that shit? And created a crater. Now there's a crater on the moon from Russia crashing into the moon. So you're welcome for that information. Doctor, okay. Overboard. Yeah, right. More like underboard. Uh,
Arafat Nakba. I liked that game, they finally made it.
dude, a brake job in fucking 16 minutes? That's fucking impressive. That can't be the whole vehicle. Dude, I think it is the whole vehicle. Holy shit, this guy's fast as fuck.
There are many flavors of this fad, and a bit later we will get to the meat of the deception, which invariably involves misuse of the word quantum and deliberate misinterpretation of something called the double slit experiment. But I would like to start somewhere more fundamental. Let's begin with the core confusion that enables the whole show. Much like other scams and pseudoscience, it all stems from a misunderstanding of basic scientific concepts and terminology. In this case, it is the word energy. What is energy? Even just hearing that word out loud, dozens of connotations probably come to mind. Here is the way quantum mystics on the internet use the word incorrectly.
They talk about something called spirit and energy and an invisible force that seems to be controlling who and what we really are. Quantum physics emphasizes that the universe is not really split into two realms, a material realm and an energetic realm. Quantum physics reveals that everything is made out of energy. What we perceive as matter is actually an illusion of energy and light, that there is nothing physical.
So as you can see, to the quantum mystic, energy is a synonym for magic. It means whatever they want it to mean in order to sell to the suggestible viewer whatever it is that they're selling. But in science, this word has a very specific definition, which we must learn now. For maximum effect, please purge yourself of every connotation you are aware of for the word energy, as the term has been completely convoluted by society, so we need to start from a blank slate. Act as if you've never heard this word before. Are you ready? Here it comes. Energy is the capacity to do work. The end. Now, to further clarify, we should also define work. Again, in society, this word means many things. It can refer to a profession, an action, or even a location. So let's again purge ourselves of these connotations so that we can learn what it means in science. Work refers to an action done on an object whereby an applied force causes a displacement of that object. So work is about motion. When you apply a force to an object and it moves, like pushing a box across the floor, you're doing work. So energy is the capacity to do work, which is what causes motion. And that's all there is to it. Energy is a property of a system and nothing more. To elucidate further still, we could highlight different forms of energy. Kinetic energy is the energy an object possesses by virtue of its motion, which can be transferred to other objects through collisions. Potential energy is the energy an object possesses by virtue of its position in a field. Lifting an object into the air increases its gravitational potential energy, which is then converted into kinetic energy as it falls, just the way a compressed spring has a lot of potential energy, which is released as it expands. Thermal energy, or heat, is just a transfer of kinetic energy, and temperature is a measure of the average kinetic energy of the particles in a system. Hotter systems of particles are moving faster on average, colder systems of particles are moving slower on average. Chemical energy is a kind of potential energy which describes the potential of some molecule to undergo a particular chemical reaction, which is simply a rearrangement of atoms. All of the above is explained in far greater detail over in my classical physics playlist, should you wish to learn about these concepts. Finally, matter itself is a form of energy, according to the most famous equation of all time, Einstein's E equals mc squared. E is energy, m is mass, and c is the speed of light, which is a big number, and when squared is an even bigger number. So matter times this big number equals lots of energy. But even this form of energy is not mystical in any way. When matter is converted to energy in a fusion reactor or a nuclear bomb, it is still the same phenomenon we have been describing. It can be defined rigorously and measured quantitatively, so even in this abstract context, it is never ill-defined or vague. So you see, when we say everything is energy, it's actually a true statement because matter is a form of energy. But this does not mean that there is a magical spiritual world. It does not mean you can heal yourself with your mind or any of the other bogus claims we will investigate in a moment. Energy is not an object. It is not a substance. It is not an essence or a life force or a magical realm. It is a property of an object or system that can be transferred into another object or system, typically in the form of work. That's what energy is, and that's the only thing that energy is. Unfortunately, colloquial usage of the word energy has muddied and obscured this definition. People say things like, "This room has such good energy." This is a metaphorical usage of the word, which is acceptable if acknowledged as strictly metaphorical. It means that one gets a good impression from the room. It conveys a feeling in a fun, poetic way. It does not mean that there is a literal substance emanating from the room that we call good energy, which is magically perceived by your third eye in some way that science can't comprehend. Further compounding the confusion is the fact that in physics, quantitative measurements of energy, in particular potential energy, can have positive or negative values. Positive means greater than zero, negative means less than zero. It's just math and the way we define systems in physics. By sheer linguistic coincidence, we also use the word positive to mean good and negative to mean bad, as in having a positive or negative experience. But these two connotations are totally unrelated. So when people remove the concept of positive or negative energy from the arithmetic domain in which it has actual meaning and take these phrases to mean good or bad energy, the result is totally meaningless. There is no such thing as good energy or bad energy. There is no context in which this makes any sense except the strictly metaphorical. So when these terms are used improperly, it is simply an unfortunate side effect of allowing words to have multiple meanings in a language. The literalization of this metaphorical usage confuses people and renders them susceptible to cranks and con men who exploit this confusion for financial gain. Speaking of cranks and con men, let's get to them now. I want to start with one of the primary figures, if not the primary figure, responsible for the popularization of quantum mysticism in the 1990s. That is the glammed out guru himself, Deepak Chopra. Deepak
Deepak.
rose to prominence on the success of his
Deepak
1993
Chopra.
book, Ageless Body, Timeless Mind, The Quantum Alternative to Growing Old. This, along with his previous book called Quantum Healing, piggybacked on the broader New Age movement that was picking up steam, and he rode the tidal wave of science-flavored, self-help themed snake oil to significant fame and fortune. As you can see, quantum is a very important buzzword for this brand of deception, and it only serves to disguise mysticism as science. Given that Chopra has published nearly 100 books, there is no time to go into every single thing he's written, nor would I ever subject myself to that kind of torture. But a pervading theme across his body of work is the power of the mind. The mind, according to him, has limitless power in healing oneself, as well as shaping or even manifesting aspects of physical reality. He describes the phenomenon of perfect health, the title of another one of his books, and a selling point for his ultra-expensive wellness retreats. He advertises that those who read or attend and learn these techniques, which we could call sorcery, can be totally free of disease, never feel pain, and even halt the aging process, all simply with the mind. Of course, it seems that even Deepak himself was unable to put that last technique into practice, as he is 74 years old and he looks his age. His other favorite thing to talk about is how physics tells us that consciousness creates reality, another hallmark of the quantum mystic. Here's a taste.
There is no universe. It's a human construct. There is no body. It's a human construct for a mode of knowing and perception. There are no electromagnetic fields or molecules or atoms or waves of particles. These are human constructs for modes of knowing and experience in human consciousness. The only thing we can say with certainty about the universe, what's it made of, is it's made of nothing.
Non-locality. If you tickle the universe here, it laughs there. If you have asked a question here, it answers there, because consciousness non-locally is correlated everywhere. That's the deeper question. There's mathematics to prove that.
So as we can see, even for those who aren't specifically looking to be healed, there is still plenty to bait you with. The selling points of consciousness creating reality pretty much write themselves. Realizing your infinite potential, manifesting your desires. These are all attractive notions which can ensnare suggestible people who are dissatisfied with their lives or otherwise overwhelmed by reality. It's emptiness disguised as transcendental self-improvement, something which has served as the basis for Scientology and other successful criminal organizations. To be fair, not every quantum mystic has their own cult, but some of them do, and even those that don't, should we really look the other way when people make a fortune from deliberately misleading the public? How is it that they are able to do this? The success of Deepak stems from two things. First, he uses his Indian identity and calm, calculated manner of speech to put out an air of ancient Eastern wisdom. To the untrained ear, he sounds like a wise sage, and he also was at one point a real doctor, so he appears to have credibility. Second, he is a third-degree black belt in the art of pseudoscientific word salad. He may be the best there's ever been at this impressive skill. He knows precisely which buzzwords to use and in precisely which combinations so as to present what sounds to many like profound truths, when in reality most of what he says is utterly meaningless. In fact, there is a Deepak Chopra quote generator online called Wisdom of Chopra, which is programmed with vocabulary from his Twitter feed and equipped with a randomizer, which will spit out randomly generated blocks of text that are completely indistinguishable from what he actually says. Here, I'll show you. These are all statements that were randomly generated for me by Wisdom of Chopra, except one, which is something Deepak actually said. See if you can pick out the genuine quote. And here it is. Did you get it? Don't worry if you didn't. You're not missing anything. So as you can see, it's a simple formula. Dazzle people with spiritual sounding nonsense until their eyes glaze over and they open up their wallets nice and wide. And given Chopra's net worth of $150 million, it would seem that it is quite an effective formula as well. You see, this particular flavor of gibberish resonates strongly with a certain type of person. This would be the secular individual who is filled with the longing for worship, but has no institutionalized God to put it upon. We all possess certain neural proclivities towards seeking and affirming divinity, and to this end, quantum mysticism offers the universe as God,
Crowley
along with
manifested
all the
cheers.
transcendence, permanence, interconnectedness, and self-empowerment, without any of the burdens of organized religion. It's a vapid stand-in for spirituality that avoids the outdated social practices and conservatism of the more popular faiths, but keeps the perceived ties to the ancient world, wild unsubstantiated claims about reality, plus bonus cheese and chakras. Even for those who aren't looking for God, there is plenty to work with, since all humans have certain desires that are easy to tap into. We see this with virtually all of Chopra's book titles. The spontaneous fulfillment of desire, You Are the Universe, Boundless Energy, The Wisdom Within. It's marketing. People want their anxieties to congeal into serenity, which gives way to perfect control over their lives and minds. People want to feel relevant in the universe and connected to everything in it. Quantum mystics are attuned to the deep longings of their target demographic in order to most effectively exploit them, and to that end, they are selling one thing only: identity. You see, a brand of razor blade may be selling masculinity. A brand of fragrance may be selling elegance. A brand of soft drink might even sell the feeling of being extreme. But the quantum mystic, on the other hand, is selling artificial transcendence. It's the convenient sale of an enlightened self-image for the spiritual warrior in a hurry. Given that we live in the internet age, this fad is not limited to a handful of authors and gurus. Many versions of this narrative can be found all over YouTube. There are hundreds of such channels, each with their own flavor, but the core message tends to be pretty much the same. So I'll just pick on one of the bigger ones, which is called Spirit Science. Here we find mystical ramblings amidst a backdrop of delightful animations. Let's take a listen to one about crystals.
Crystals? What are they? No, seriously, look at all these amazing structures and forms. They're beautiful, they're powerful, and they're life. Crystals are the essence of life manifesting within the earth, the blossoms of the mineralogical portion of the earth. Recognition of these energies and forms of crystals can greatly benefit your personal growth. It is a very basic consciousness, not as intricate or advanced as some life on Earth. Crystals definitely don't have the thinking capacity of humans, or even the biological reproductive systems of plants, but they are life.
No, crystals are not alive. There are very specific criteria that qualify something as being alive, including metabolic activity, which means lots of chemistry happening inside all the time, response to stimuli, growth, and reproduction. Crystals are inert. They are not alive, period. The word life has a rigorous definition, and it can't just be applied to any random object.
Crystals are defined as being a mineralogical body with a characteristic internal structure and enclosed by a symmetry of plane faces. They are, however, much more than that.
No, they are not.
No, they're not.
Before that everything in the universe is a vibration, existing through many different frequencies at once. Our physical bodies are on this physical plane, but the sounds that we hear vibrate to a different frequency, as with smells and even thoughts. Crystals also vibrate to many frequencies at once.
We are discovering some more key buzzwords for the quantum mystic: vibration and frequency. These are used just like energy as being synonymous with magic. That atoms and molecules vibrate doesn't mean they can cast magic spells, and frequency is just a word that means number of cycles per unit time, and has no significance when not applied to a concretely defined phenomenon. When the mystic says higher frequencies, they mean good frequencies, which doesn't mean anything, just like good energy doesn't mean anything. When the quantum mystic says that something is emitting frequencies, or vibrating to frequencies, they mean that it is magic, and they want to use a scientific vocabulary word to pretend that magic is real.
Health is the natural state of any form in the universe. Considering the vibrational existence of reality, health comes when frequencies of anything are in balance and harmony with itself.
Health is not the natural
look,
state
that looks like
of
triage
things.
oil.
Disease is natural.
Funny.
Death is natural. This is the setup for a snake oil pitch, and it's a classic one. Then, again, with the buzzwords. Frequencies of what? The word frequency doesn't mean anything if not directly referencing a physical phenomenon that can possess a frequency, like light or sound.
When patterns of energy are disrupted, we experience a state which we know as disease, which is a body that's not at ease.
This graphic is meaningless. We don't have orbs of colored light around us. Disease has a molecular basis. It does not have a basis in invisible personal rainbows that definitely do not exist.
The resistant, discordant energy patterning is responsible for every negative symptom we experience, everything from headache to cancer.
Again, what is this? Frequency of what? This has no correlation with anything in physical reality. Headaches and cancer are not caused by little quivering lines. This is such unadulterated fantasy that there isn't even anything to debunk.
In the physical world, you pick up a crystal and feel it as something separate from you that you're just holding. But on higher frequencies, you're actually interacting with that stone energetically. This interaction then causes changes to your structure and psychology through your own energetic systems.
No, this does not happen. If it did, it could be measured and substantiated. It is a fabrication aimed at people who don't require evidence in order to believe something.
Now, consciousness is, of course, the determining factor of if you are going to be accepting of these new frequencies coming into your being through crystals. I'm not going to say crystals will heal you, because if you fight them and are non-receptive to these frequencies, you will continue to create the disharmony within yourself.
The translation here is that crystal healing works by placebo effect. So if you don't think they will work, they won't work, because they only work when you trick yourself into thinking that they work.
Remember the 5 platonic solids? Science understands that all atomic patterns and molecular structures were based on these 5 forms.
No, they aren't. That doesn't mean anything. Molecular geometries do not exclusively resemble platonic solids.
One of the biggest things about crystals is that they can transmit frequencies. From a metaphysical perspective, we can transmit thoughts and emotions through crystals, but scientifically, does that make sense?
No, it doesn't make sense. It sounds like magic. Just saying, doesn't that make sense, is not an argument.
Science found in the 50s that silicon shares the same principles of life as carbon. Exactly 1 octave down on the periodic table from carbon is silicon.
They are called periods, not octaves. The periodic table is not a piano.
Sponges deep in the ocean made from 100% silicon were also discovered, which shows that silicon life doesn't just work in theory, but they actually exist right here on this planet.
There are no sponges made of 100% silicon. If something is made of 100% silicon, it is silicon. This is one of the dumbest sentences I've ever heard. I can't understand how any human person doesn't just laugh out loud when they hear things like this.
I did.
Okay, that's enough on crystals. Let's hear some commentary on physics.
What physics is telling us is that everything comes down to geometry and the interactions between elementary particles.
Can you believe how
This can
stupid
happen
these
only when
people
things
are?
Perfectly balanced.
This doesn't mean anything. It's just more vague nonsense intended to get people nodding their heads, pretending they are learning about deep truths in physics.
Garrett demonstrates to us how the particles that create point particles really work. He shows that when you plot them out in how they move, this is what they look like. At the tiniest scales of the universe, and how it works, is very beautiful.
What is this? Subatomic particles are not colored squares and circles and triangles.
Tula
What are we looking
Jetro.
at? What do these
My
symbols
arm is
represent?
still asleep.
Not
I
even
think I have a
half-assed
pinched
attempt to
nerve.
explain anything is
Hi,
offered, just
Tula.
random images acting as a backdrop for word salad.
Now, look at this. This is one of the ways that these charges branch off from each other. As you can see,
Your arm. I'm sorry about your arm. I hope you get better. I don't know what to tell you. Your arm's asleep. I don't know what that could be, Tula. Are you eating okay? Make sure you're eating. I don't know what to tell you. This is crazy. But, yeah, is it maybe a mattress that you're sleeping on? I think you thinking that it's a pinched nerve, it could be in your lower back. Maybe try, changing your sleeping position or putting a pillow under your back or something. I don't know. All right, you guys. Y'all take care. I love y'all. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye now.